Hello, we're starting with a new school today. I'm talking about Buddha's philosophy. So, before we start, I want you to understand that we would be reading Buddhism under the two main branches of philosophy, epistemology and ethics. Alright, so this is the layout of the lecture. But before that, I want you to have a thorough understanding of the school Buddhism, its philosophy, and what happened to Buddhism with the time by, right? So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to start with is the life of Buddha, all right? Why is it important? Before that, let's go back into history a little bit. So, you remember, if you've watched my previous videos, you would know that I talked about a Vedic stage, right? A Vedic stage or a Vedic period. So that Vedic period was divided into early Vedic period and later Vedic period, all right? And after the later Vedic period, some shift happened, all right? So in the later Vedic period, a lot of emphasis was given on the Vedic rituals, the Vedic sacrifices, and as a result, the priesthood got dominance in the society. Not very many people were happy with this, and this led to the coming of the new philosophies into the picture. We're talking about Charvaka, we're talking about Jainism, we're talking about Buddhism. The first two schools we've already discussed, all right? Today we're starting with Buddhism, all right? So I hope you now understand the kind of philosophy that we're going to deal with. This is going to be a heterodox or a Nastic school, all right? This is going to be an atheist school, all right? This atheist is what I want you to remember for this video at the moment, all right? Because we'll be discussing this topic of atheism in a detailed manner. All right, I hope the basis is clear now. So let me just clear the page. Yeah. So let's start. The life of Buddha. You see, Buddha, the time period that we're talking about is the 6th century BC. All right, this is the 6th century BC. So the founder of Buddhism is Buddha, all right, or Gautama Buddha. This Gautama Buddha is the title given to the person named Siddhartha. The life of Siddhartha or the life of Gautama Buddha is known today to us as the founder of Buddhism, who was born into a royal family of Kapilavastu. This geography of this area is along the banks of, along the Himalayan range. So that is the north of India. So he was born into a royal family, and now you would be thinking that how come a prince of a royal family would become somebody like this, all right, and give away all the pleasures of life, give away all the riches of life. So the story that goes is that Siddhartha Gautama was actually taking a look outside the palace. So when he visited the streets, when he visited the ordinary people's houses, the commoners' houses, he saw that life was not all pretty. Uh, life was not a bed of roses. He came across people who were really sick. He came across people who were uh, suffering from various diseases in their old age. So he saw basically misery and a lot of suffering. So upon viewing this, he was really perplexed. All right, he was really perplexed. The reason why he was perplexed was because this was a view which was absolutely new to him, and he had no understanding of such a life because he was born in royalty, right? The only life he was accustomed to was a life which was, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. So he was really perplexed and he was really confused and he wanted to do something about it. He wanted to know about the essence of life. All right, so that's the story of Buddha. He renounced the world early in life. All right, he renounced the world. This world that we're talking about is the world of palaces, the world of living in luxury and everything. And he got out of his palaces and he started wandering around. All right, Siddhartha became Buddha or the enlightened one. All right, so this process took him very many years. This is again nobody has a clear idea because we're talking about history here. So it took him close to 30 years of, he was around 30 years when he attained, that is, when he became Buddha, when he attained nirvana. All right, so this this step wasn't easy. All right, this step wasn't easy because he met a lot of teachers, he met a lot of people who taught him the ways of life, and he wasn't happy with any of them. So he got onto the path, alone. And during this he went through intense meditation. All right, and he figured it out on his own. So Siddhartha, the prince Siddhartha, became Buddha or the enlightened one. Now I hope you realize his name was not Buddha. Buddha is basically, we can say, a title given to somebody who is enlightened one or somebody who's attained nirvana. All right, so the process or the path that he took and attained nirvana, this process was laid down, and this led to the foundation of the religion and the philosophy that today we call Buddhism. All right, so this philosophy and this religion was not just limited to India alone. All right, it reached far and wide in countries like Ceylon, Burma, Japan, Korea, etc. All right, so this is the importance of Buddhism, how it is not just limited to a country alone. It is far and widely accepted by many countries, by many people, and not just these countries, it is now also gaining a lot more importance in the West. All right, so this was just the basic introduction of Buddhism. I hope the concept is clear to you.